Hello everyone, my name is Amir. Welcome to Unfolding Destiny, where we teach you how to build your life within the context of your true identity. So, how do you go after your biggest goals without getting upset along the way? See, there's something weird that happens when you do accomplish the thing that you set out to accomplish. Maybe you're looking to lose weight, or maybe you're looking to get a job, or maybe you're trying to find a relationship, or maybe you're trying to start a business. I don't know. We all have different goals. But what's interesting is that you can work your butt off and you can go pursue a goal. And maybe you attain it, maybe you don't. But what if you actually get it? And what happens is you get bummed out. I mean, once you actually achieve the thing that you want to achieve, what tends to happen is there's this moment of glory, and then it's like, all right, well, I did it. And this is why yo-yo dieting is the thing, because you hit your goal, you lose the amount of weight that you wanted, and then you're back at it because suddenly you think, oh, because I lost the weight, now I'm finally this invincible person, and that diets don't mean a thing anymore. Oh, it wasn't the hard work, it wasn't the diet, it wasn't the exercise that got me here. It was, well, no, it got me here, but now I'm good, I'm smart, and I'm mature, and then suddenly you're off trail. And you start to rebound. And this happens with a lot of our goals. See, we get in the way of our own success, and we sabotage our efforts, and we sabotage our growth. And that's why growth itself isn't sustainable long term for most people. The thing is that if you attach your happiness to this really big goal that's future based, what tends to happen is you become more miserable along the way. And if you're more miserable along the way and you're waiting for this great opportunity for you to finally become happy through some goal, then you're setting yourself up for failure. See, the whole idea behind incremental transcendence is that you're going to have this really big, wide, and expansive life. Instead of focusing on this one big goal, well, let me back up. Yes, have one big goal, because one big goal will unite all of your goals. But instead of waiting for that one goal to manifest in your life for you to be happy, what I would rather you do is start to realize that true happiness is a result of progress, daily progress. If you keep a journal, if you write down all your goals and you measure all your goals along the way, then you're going to find that you'll be happy day to day. If you can make measurable progress towards a goal, towards the direction of a goal today, and if you are further ahead today than you were yesterday, that is happiness. See, what happens is that as you achieve a certain goal, you have a new baseline of existence. So when you start to regress from that, when you start to pull away from that, and you start to stagnate, that's when you start to become unhappy again. So it's really important for you to know that you have to keep pushing yourself and keep striving to become the best version of yourself every day, day after day. And see, here's what I've realized, that when you go after your goals, there's a few different types of goals. Concrete goals are the ones that are super clear. It means that if you go to the gym, if you've got a workout planned out already, you know what you need to do. Maybe you follow some celebrities workout or whatever it is. You know what to do. You have the routine mapped out. You just do it. You push. You do your jumping jacks. You do your lifts, your curls, your barbells, your squats. You know what to do. When the road is clear, you just give it your all, 100%. And you just surrender to the moment. Take out all the distractions, put your phone on airplane mode and just go. Now, there are abstract goals. Abstract goals are interesting because abstract goals, the path really isn't defined. And what tends to happen is that there's really four things that happen. First of all, there's all these things that you plan on doing that you think you want to accomplish. You might have a million different things, but when you put pencil to paper or pen to paper, you realize that within a day that has finite time, you can probably only do 8 or 10 of those things. Maybe probably even like far less than that. So there's the things that you think you want to do. Then there's the things that you actually put pen to paper and plan on doing. Then 3 is as you start taking action towards that plan, other things tend to come into your picture and they become the things you actually start doing. It's really interesting. There's the things that you think you want to do, then the things that you plan on doing, and as you start to plan them, you start executing them, and as you start executing them, unknown things happen to come to the picture that you end up actually doing. And what this means is, I'll give you an example. So this morning I woke up really early, 3:30 a.m., and I got my day started. At 5 a.m., I was supposed to just map out my entire day and, just map out my incremental transcendence, my incremental progress. And it just so happened that my business partner, Alex, who was asleep, ended up waking up at 5 a.m. with me, and then he got on a call with me, and then I knew he was like, we normally wake up this time anyway. He was up late last night, so I figured he probably wouldn't be there with me, and I was going to take advantage of that opportunity to kind of work on my own stuff. So there you go. I had a million things I wanted to do. Then as I put pen to paper, I planned on doing certain things. I figured, let me start working on my incremental transcendence and mapping out my goals in my life and booking appointments with my future self, which I'll talk about in another video. But as I started to do all that, Alex said, you know what, let me jump on this call with you. And then he started talking about his own progress, and he made this beautiful diagram, and we started talking about his work, and suddenly 2.5 hours passed, and that was the entire morning for me. And what's funny is that in this moment, I had a million things I thought I wanted to do. I ended up putting pen to paper, planned out some things, and as I started executing on them, something unknown happened, and now I'm talking to Alex, and I surrendered to that moment. Here's what happens when you're pursuing a creative goal. Things that you didn't plan for end to come into the picture, and then you have to surrender to them. What I found in my life was that there are many opportunities, many times when I planned on doing something. Let's say I planned on hitting an abstract goal, something that has never been done before. It's a creative goal. I started to pursue it. And what ended up happening was, as I started thinking about all the million things I wanted to do, and I put pen to paper, I started executing, I started to realize that this goal that I wanted to hit within 24 hours is actually going to take a lot longer to achieve, because there's so many things along the way that I needed to learn. It's like setting sail, going to a new town, moving out, or whatever. Let's just say you want to move out. It's not as simple as, oh, I moved out. No, there's a lot of things that happen along the way. There's a lot of appointments you got to book. You got to talk to maybe a realtor if you're buying a house. I mean, there's a lot of things that you don't know that you start to realize as you go through the process. And so for that reason, you cannot beat yourself up if you don't hit your abstract goal as quickly as you thought you wanted to. No, instead, you have to surrender to the process. Realize that as long as you are truly doing the best that you can, you're fully focused, you're fully engaged, and you're really, really trying, you're making the space within your life to actually go for your goals. If something unexpected happens, then you have to address that. Now, of course, if it's something unexpected that doesn't serve you, then ignore it. But sometimes you just have to surrender to the moment to learn what it's supposed to teach you. This is a very deep concept. It actually goes beyond the scope of what this video can give you. But if you understand what I'm saying, then what this means is I want you to start pursuing all your goals through an act of surrender. Surrender simply means that you accept every moment. You accept yourself. You love yourself. You're no longer in resistance to what's happening. When you're angry or you're sad or upset, you are in resistance to what's happening, and that ruins your flow. Instead, be completely accepting of what's happening, surrender to the moment, work your tail off, and if you happen to have to do a sidestep, that's fine. Just know that your subconscious mind is working itself through you. It's expressing itself through you. And you got to channel that inner voice. Sometimes it takes you to do some work before your subconscious mind starts to speak through you. And then you start to get into a state of flow. So realize that your entire life is working for you. Don't get bent out of shape. Operate from the future perspective of your aspirational identity, what you want to ultimately become, but realize that along the way there will be concrete goals and there's going to be abstract goals. Concrete goals are a little easier to achieve because they're already mapped out. Abstract goals take you longer to achieve because as you start to pursue them, more things tend to come up and more things start to distract you, and then you realize there's a lot more that you need to learn in order for you to get to where you want to get to. This is why getting a PhD in something is not just paint by numbers. Getting a PhD can take you 6 to 10 years, and it's because of all these other little nuances that appear along the way. And so don't beat yourself up if you don't achieve a goal as quickly as you wanted. Instead, pursue the framework of incremental transcendence. And by that notion, instead, measure your goals, measure your progress on the daily. And so how do you do that with concrete goals? Very simple. Keep a journal. If you're going to the gym, measure your biceps, get a measuring tape and measure that growth. Measure your weight daily or weekly, whatever it is, and just keep focusing on that, because whatever you measure does grow. And then as long as you see that there is growth, then you're going to start making the right habits and right adjustments in your life in other areas so that you can keep growing in that area. If you notice that you're building a lifestyle where your biceps are growing, your chest is growing, and you're losing fat, then you might get happy and you start to diet even better so that you can more effectively pursue that goal. That's an incredible thing for you to do. You need to keep reporting your numbers and all that. But when it comes to abstract thought, like getting a PhD or trying to solve a problem that doesn't really have a clear-cut solution, something that could take many years and attempts to resolve, what you need to do more is measure the subjective growth around it. And the subjective growth is measured strictly by the number of questions that you ask that get solved. So the number of questions, problems you solve along the way. So if you set out to achieve a big abstract goal today, start asking yourself questions and start solving those questions along the way. And then tomorrow morning, you'll wake up and you'll say, well, no matter what happens or no matter what happened, I had some questions yesterday that I didn't have answers to, and today I have answers to those questions. So by that notion, I've actually grown. I'm a bigger person than I was yesterday. And so that's how you measure a subjective goal. And so I need you to embrace the fact that you got to do this daily. One of the things that this goes beyond the scope of this video is with incremental transcendence, the idea really takes you away from this big seismic goal where like you're focusing on your happiness on some future outcome. Because remember, there's a lot of pivots that happen along the way. There's a lot of side steps and a lot of maneuvers, and there's like, I'm like dancing on camera here, but there's a lot of things that you got to do, and sometimes you're not prepared for them. You don't know. Sometimes it takes you to walk a few miles before you have the perspective to realize what's in front of you, and all these things happen. So what do you do to make the best of it? How do you actually accomplish this? Well, the thing is, take care of your mind and surrender to the moment, be fully focused, and then break all of your goals into measurable goals. This is incremental transcendence. So if you want to learn Chinese, go ahead, learn it. If you want to go to the gym, do that. Map out all your goals, and then I guess I'll talk a little about booking appointments with your future self. Book appointments with your future self. So if you want to become, I don't know, like wealthier, maybe you want to get a mentor, book an appointment with a mentor, or book an appointment with your future self in which you're reading a book about becoming wealthy. And when you book an appointment with yourself, you become more serious about it. And it's different than just planning out your day, because I can plan out my day, but there's no accountability. But if I'm booking appointments with different aspects of myself throughout the day, well, then there's accountability. Then I'm going to go completely into this. And incremental transcendence really just comes down to measuring each of these areas, because happiness happens when you are growing. Happiness is a result of growth. And sure, you can surrender to the moment you need to. You need to be in full love and awe. You can't just delay your happiness. It's the paradox, right? Yeah, I'm not saying that you're not going to be happy if you don't get a certain goal in life. But what I'm saying is humans are goal-oriented. You got to have goals. You got to keep pursuing, becoming the best version of yourself. You're going to be unhappy if you hit a goal and then you start to sidestep and backtrack. And so you need to find a way to constantly grow in every area of your life, but don't push that growth up into some future event. Make it present focus. Grow daily. Measure the wins along the way. Notice that with abstract thought, you're going to have certain moments where you're going to be sidetracked, and it's okay, because that's your subconscious mind channeling itself through you. Now, this is a very complex topic, so I'm going to write about this. I'm going to document it. We're going to create programs about it through Mixotype, and I just want you to embrace the very fact of this thing that we're talking about, incremental transcendence, is something that's really important if you want to be truly happy in your life. And the biggest thing is just surrender. No matter what you do throughout the day, If you plan out to achieve something, but you don't quite hit it, don't beat yourself up. You might plan to, I don't know, squat 300 pounds at the gym, but when you finally go there, you only squat 80. Well, don't be upset about it, because the 300 pounds is probably not something you're supposed to do anyway. Maybe you're just supposed to do the 80 pounds that day and work yourself up to the 300 pounds. So these are things you start to learn, and you have to appreciate yourself and your journey along the way, and just be forgiving, and just know as long as you did your best, that's all that matters. See, you're not going to be able to do 1,000,000 goals all at once day one. That's where incremental transcendence comes in. Maybe with your act of incremental transcendence, you got this big goal that you want to achieve, but one piece of it is maybe working out, so you start working out and you measure that along the way. Then once you become more comfortable with that and you have a routine, then you add in the Mandarin or the Chinese lessons or whatever, Cantonese or whatever it is that you want to do. You start to incrementally add all these other aspects into your life until you're booking appointments with all the different aspects of yourself that you want to achieve. So book an appointment with the future self of yourself that is doing well with finances. Book an appointment with the part of yourself that's going to the gym and go to the gym. Book an appointment with yourself, the future self that's reading a book, and then read that book. Book appointments with yourself and do this through the lens of incremental transcendence. A lot of heavy stuff here, but it's okay. You're an Unfolding Destiny subscriber, so you deserve the best. All right, if you love this content and you enjoyed it, then please like, comment, share. Hit me up on Mixotype. Watch my Mixo chats. You're probably getting some of that content as well. All right, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Have a great one. Bye.